crazy thing. Even if you're not AHIP certified and not doing Medicare Advantage, your clients are getting those policies, and they need you to be helping to make sure that they don't have the donut in their donut hole protection. We're going to be talking about that. And here's kind of what I'm thinking is what I know it takes for the people that are moving the hospital indemnity plans. They have to know the product and the carrier.
Correct.
They have to know how to ask and tell the story and lead up to asking about the benefits for the person they're meeting with. And they've got to have a story to tell. So our goal today is to really hit on those three. So I've got you here to cover the product. We've got Megan, who's going to be talking about exactly what she says and does to tee it up and offer it and close the deal. And we've got Sherry O'Brien, between her and her husband, have gotten a big check from Medico this year because of their AEP. Because they're HIP. And we want people. So if somebody says, well, I don't have a story. Well, your friend Sherry O'Brien, who helps you, is able to tell her story, so her story can be your story. So those are the three things we're going to spend time on today. So Melissa, let it roll if you want to share anything.
For those of you that I don't know, my name is Melissa Gwinnap, and I'm a national, I know this says regional, but I'm really a national sales manager here at Medico. We are a health insurance company. We've been in business since 1930, so we are not new to this market. We are financially strong. We're an A-rated company with AM Best. Maybe some of you are thinking, what does that mean and why do we care? Short story, why you care is we're going to be here for your clients at their time of need, okay? And that's when something goes wrong. If they have to go to the hospital, they have a cancer diagnosis, Medico will be here to help your clients through that situation. So we're going to talk a little bit about hospital indemnity, the product, why it's so important. The only thing that you have to do in order to sell Medico is have your health insurance license. You don't have to be AHIP certified. We have nothing to do with Medicare Advantage. All you need is a health license and to get appointed with Medico. So what is hospital indemnity? So we're going to go over that. But basically what this helps people do is it helps them with income if they have to go into a hospital. So what that means, if they're inpatient in hospital, they're stuck in observation, they get a diagnosis of cancer, Medico is here to help them. Your clients will get a tax-free check sent directly to them. However, some situations they do want us to pay the hospital, we can do that too, okay? So the average person only has about $1,000 set aside for healthcare costs, okay? As we know, if we go to the emergency room, it's probably going to cost us more than $1,000. So what we're here to do is help fill those gaps to make sure that your clients have the funds to pay the hospital, the doctors, whatever the scenario might be. So all of the states in blue is where our product is offered. If you guys are in Ohio or Utah, our brand new product that we rolled out in June was just rolled out in Ohio and Utah as of November 1st. Okay, so at Medico, all of the states in blue is where you can offer this product, but we also do a household discount. Our household discount is a little bit different than anyone else in the industry. What our household discount says is your client simply has to live with another individual over the age of 18, and we will automatically give them a 7% household discount. So the base plan is all 5 benefits on this screen, okay? Why is it important to know this? Because we charge 1 premium for the base plan and they get all 5 benefits. The first benefit is the inpatient hospital confinement benefit. This is all your client has to know what they want. The other 4 benefits are automatically included, okay? So they automatically get the other 4. So inpatient hospitalization. If your client goes into the hospital, Medico always pays day 1 of hospitalization. Your client gets to decide how much money do they want Medico to pay and for how many days. So they can choose a 3-day benefit, a 6-day benefit, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, 21, or 31. Also, Medico will pay anywhere between $100 a day all the way to $600 a day. And you can increase that in $25 increments. I'm going to take one step back really quick, okay? Who can you market this to? Anyone ages 18 to 85. 18 to 85. So it does not just have to be your Medicare market. I personally own this. Megan Wood, you own it, I believe, because you were so excited when we dropped it from 40. Okay. And I will tell you, your first best client is yourself. Okay. So I'm sure all of you are over the age of 18 because you have your license. Buy one. Okay?
Oh.
Right?
Oh, somebody just got discovered. Crap, can't hide behind that anymore.
So I own this. It's awesome. Okay. So if I go inpatient into the hospital, I chose $300 a day for 6 days. Okay. I get paid. And by that way, we'll talk about a restoration of benefits, but your clients can get paid more than once per calendar year. Observation. Now, if you're just brand new to Medicare, you might not know the debacle between Medicare and the hospitals right now. It's a major debacle. You have a client that goes into the hospital. They are in the emergency room. They need to have some tests run. Maybe they're not feeling good and their oxygen's low and they're running a bunch of tests. What a doctor might say to your client is, hey, by the way, we're going to put you in a room and we're going to observe you. What that means in the Medicare Advantage space is they're not going to be paid in full. Okay. So if your client has a Medico hospital indemnity, we will pay them 100%, even if they're in observation, up to 6 days per calendar year. So if they have a $400 a day benefit, we will also pay if they're coded as observation and not inpatient. It's a huge benefit right now. Emergency room. If you have a client who goes in for an accident or an injury to the emergency room, Medico will pay $150 up to 4 emergency room visits per calendar year. Great. Inpatient mental health. We hear this on the daily. This is on the rise, right? If you have a client who has the base plan, they automatically get this included. If they go in for medication adjustments, whatever, into an inpatient mental health setting, Medico will pay $175 a day up to 7 days per calendar year. Transportation and lodging, this is a huge benefit. It's also unique to the market. We are the only ones with this. What it says is if your client is traveling 50 miles or more from their home, so their residence, to receive inpatient treatment, Medico will send them an additional check of $100 per day up to 10 days per calendar year. What does that help pay for? Maybe it's a loved one's hotel fee, gas money, food money, parking garage fees. We don't care, okay? We do not care. That's what it helps pay for. But I want to talk about the restoration and the riders really quick, okay? So the inpatient benefit, so that one benefit they have to decide in the base policy, they get to use multiple times each year. So it's just not a one hospitalization per year and done. It's multiple times. So Jane has a Medico hospital indemnity. She went into the hospital. She was in the hospital for 5 days. She got discharged. She went home and everything was perfect. She went 60 days out of the hospital. Guess what Medico does? We reset those full 6 days back to her. Okay. So it's just not one time per year and done. Every 60 days out of a hospital resets that full benefit. In a not so perfect world, your client could claim inpatient hospitalization with Medico 6 times per calendar year. Now, if I have to be in a hospital 6 times per calendar year, and maybe I'm a Medicare Advantage client and I'm paying $275 a day out of pocket to be in the hospital. Okay, and everybody's Medicare Advantage plan is different, but if you're selling Medicare Advantage and you are not talking about hospital indemnity, you are doing your client a major disservice. But what clients forget about, and sometimes us as agents forget to talk about, is the out-of-pocket that they have to pay when they go into the hospital. Any of us on the line want to pay? So where I'm from, I'm in Iowa, just to give you an idea. Our Medicare Advantage plans here, we have to pay $325 a day out of pocket for days 1 through 5. Do any of you want to pay $325 a day to be in a hospital? Because I sure don't. And I promise you, your clients feel the exact same way. It's when you become a health insurance license agent. If you are not talking about this plan to every single one of your clients, you're doing them a massive disservice, okay? So the base plan we talked about. Now there's 7 different riders your clients can choose from. The biggest hangup we sometimes as agents do is we want to talk about every single rider, okay? If you want to, fine, you can do that, but not every client is going to buy every single rider, and that's okay. What's not okay is we're not talking about it, okay? So the first rider is the ambulance benefit rider. If your client goes in the ambulance, Medico will pay $250 per ambulance ride, up to 4 rides per calendar year. This does have a lifetime payout of $2,500. The next rider, outpatient therapy and chiropractic benefit. I call this the buy one, get one free rider. So the buy one portion is your client is covering if they have outpatient therapy. So is it speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy? Medico will pay either 15 or 30 therapy visits in a calendar year at $50 per visit. Piece of information, sell 30. It's less than 80 cents a month, okay? Less than 80 cents a month. And then the get one free portion, if they go to the chiropractor, Medico will pay $50 per chiropractic visit, up to 5 per calendar year. Outpatient surgery benefit rider. My husband and I both own this plan. He had to have his gallbladder out this year, okay? We never know when we might have to have an outpatient surgery. So Medico will pay $250 per surgery, $500, $750, or $1,000, up to 2 outpatient surgeries per calendar year. In the Medicare Advantage world, guys, this is huge because they always have an out-of-pocket when it comes to that, right? Skilled nursing. We all know that this is just continuing to rise. And in our Medicare Advantage world, after days 20, sometimes our Medicare supplement world, they have an out-of-pocket that they have to pay after Medicare. So Medico's rider, what we pay, is we pay days 1 through 50. We don't even care that Medicare pays the first 20 days. So do we, okay? And then what we pay is either $100 per day, $150, or $200. Your client can decide, up to 50 days. Now they can use this rider twice. As long as they are out of the skilled nursing for 180 days, they can use it again. Cancer. If you don't own this policy and you don't own a cancer policy or a cancer rider, you're doing yourself a disservice. As we all know, cancer statistics are at an all-time high, but what cancer does to us, not only emotionally, it can ruin us financially. This rider for me, I have $10,000. This rider costs $5 a month for me. I could go through Starbucks drive-through one less time to be covered if I get cancer. So what this rider does, it's a lump sum, tax-free check paid directly to your client if they're diagnosed with cancer. It's either $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, $7,500, or $10,000. I own the maximum of $10,000. Now we're going to talk about underwriting in a little bit, so we'll talk about it. But if your clients aren't in the guarantee issue ages of 64 to 67, we only ask about cancer diagnosis 12 months ago. So my mom is a 2-time breast cancer survivor. Her last bout with cancer, and she's been cancer-free, knock on wood, for 5 years. She can buy this rider. Urgent care. Never fails at my house. Somebody's sick as soon as the doctor's office closes, and they're on every single corner of a big city. If your client has this rider, we pay $50 per urgent care visit, up to 4 per calendar year. And then lump sum hospital confinement benefit. But what this rider does is it just pays your client additional $250, $500, or $750 if they go inpatient into the hospital. What they do with this money, Medico does not care. Premium. This is for a 65-year-old female with a 7% household discount. Do you guys remember the base plan? And it has all of those 5 benefits built in. So Medico If this client goes into the hospital, we're going to pay $250 a day for 6 days of hospitalization. We're also going to pay 100% of observation. We're going to pay emergency room visit, inpatient mental health, and transportation and lodging for less than a value meal. Okay. $13.39 a month for a 65-year-old female. And if your client's objection is, well, I can't really afford it right now, I guarantee you there's 1 or 2 less times they could go through Starbucks or a drive-through, and they could afford $13 a month. The ambulance rider, $3.20 a month. Outpatient therapy, $5.42. Guys, there's that cancer rider for a 65-year-old, $5,000 payout at $9 a month.
Hey, Melissa,
Now, yeah.
quick question. Let me stop. So, Paige asked, does the outpatient surgery rider count toward the outpatient dental surgery, like wisdom teeth removal?
As long as it is in an wisdom teeth removal, no, that is declined.
Okay.
But as far as everything else, colonoscopies count, cataract surgeries count. Wisdom teeth are excluded because we don't want to pay for dental surgery.
Yeah, I have one other note here. Alfonso chimed in. He said, Mike, I have that cancer policy, and it was a great help when he was diagnosed with cancer this year. So Alfonso, for those that don't know, Alfonso's on the winning side of this battle.
Yeah.
But he's been going through some stuff. But he's sharing that. So appreciate
Congrats, Alfonso. I'm glad you had it. It helps, right? So cancer is an emotional thing, but it's also financially wrecking. Okay, I've watched my mom go through it. It is not fun. So even though 10 grand isn't gonna make us millionaires, right? But it's definitely gonna help. And here's my biggest thing on the cancer rider too. Medicare Advantage. A lot of you are probably selling Medicare Advantage right now. If you have to go through chemotherapy on a Medicare Advantage plan, you pay 20% until you hit your out-of-pocket maximum. That's going to happen quickly with chemotherapy. They can use this money to pay for that. Maybe it's a bad diagnosis and they want to take their family on a trip. Alfonso, you're still working. Maybe you paid bills with it, right? We don't care what you do with it. So, moral of the story, talk about it. Medico's made it easy to talk about. Base plan is less than a value meal. I show the premium with all of the riders. It's $55. Is everybody going to buy that much? No, they're not, and that's okay. Medico's average premium sold is about $25 a month in that 65 and over market. So underwriting, what does that look like? We have really made this so simple. So guarantee issue for anyone in the the ages of 64 to 67. They don't have to answer any questions and everybody qualifies. 64 to 67, everyone qualifies.
3 years, that's big.
No more excuses of, well, my client can't qualify. Okay? So we can go all the way down to ages 18. So 18 to 63 and 68 to 85. There are 9 knockout questions. Okay? And we used to ask 24 months. Now we only care about the last 12 months. So in the last 12 months, has your client used oxygen? Have they been treated for Parkinson's, COPD, MS, Alzheimer's? Diabetics, guys. We now take insulin-dependent diabetics. That's huge. We used to never do that. So if we have a client who's a diabetic and they take less than 50 units of insulin a day, they qualify. Massive. Cancer, we only ask about they've been diagnosed in the last 12 months. Stroke, heart attack, are they currently on dialysis treatment? There is a 6-month pre-existing condition limitation. So any pre-existing conditions that doesn't knock them out from having a policy, and this is even included in the guarantee issue, aren't covered for the first 6 months. So I use myself as an example. I have asthma, had it my entire life. So the first 6 months that I owned my hospital indemnity policy, had I had to go into the hospital because I had an asthma attack, they wouldn't have paid me. Now, starting month 7 and for the rest of my life until I cancel the policy, they will pay me. They don't care. Now, I want to talk a little bit about 2-year contestability. Now, keep in mind, 2-year contestability is only if they have to fill out health questions. This does not apply to the guarantee issue case. So what's 2-year contestability? Maybe you were going through the health questions and you asked your client if they'd been diagnosed with COPD and they said, no, I just have asthma. And you're like, okay, fine, that's perfect. They file a claim within having this policy in the first 2 years. Medico can order health records. We can rescind a policy because they lied on the application. However, one thing that Medico does that's really awesome is we refund 100% of their premium. So if they maybe don't tell you quite the truth, we will refund all their premium. So that's always good to know. You can only submit applications electronically with Medico, but it is so simple. We now have made it all web-based, okay? So it's literally just a website, web address. You can go into the Medico agent website, click on My Enroller, click Launch, and it takes you there. You can sell over the phone, you can sell in person, you can email a signature, you can do a voice authorization signature. Any device that you use that has internet, including your cell phone, you can submit an application. The other cool thing that Medico has, before I take any questions, I know this says dental app, but it's not. It's for every single policy holder. And I'm actually a policy holder. I own a hospital indemnity and a dental product. It's an app on your cell phone. I have the app. Gives you instant access to your ID cards. You can submit a claim by taking a picture of your claim and it goes right to the claims team. They can change their billing information. They can check all their benefits. They can retrieve your information as their agent. I am going to open this up for questions and I'm going to bring all of your beautiful faces back on my screen. This is my contact information. This is my cell phone. So if you want to call me, great. You want to text me, great. Or there's my email as well.
So if someone gets a plan, let's say that it was the 1st of November, so here we are, it's the 9th.
Yeah.
And they go into the hospital tomorrow. Can they go ahead and make a claim? Like how fast can they make a claim after the policy's active for any of it?
Anytime.
Cool.
Anytime. Now just keep in mind, if it's something that's pre-existing, Medico won't pay for the first 6 months. Now, if you have a client who falls off a curb and breaks their ankle or needs stitches or, that's covered immediately.
How does it work if I give them a 3-day plan for $100 a day, like the minimum you could get? Would they get all that stuff with it?
They do, just not the riders.
I'm going to sell a whole bunch more of these.
That's right, Brian. Get on it.
Okay.
All righty. So let's do this. We may have some other questions. I want to get to Megan real quick. In fact, Melissa, tell everybody, where does Megan rank?
Megan is Medico's #1 agent that sells hospital indemnity. And just to give you an idea of how many agents we have, Medico has 27,000 active agents.
All right. So
And Megan is number
one
one at hospital indemnity.
And does this include agents that you may have that are doing HIPs on other planets and other countries?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, got it. Okay, so
Yeah, this just isn't the alliance. This is national, all over.
I don't even know if you know, how many hospital indemnity plans have you written in the last year or month or week? Just give us a rough idea. How many would you say? Pick one of those lengths of time and tell us.
I wrote 5 today.
5 today. And it's only 245.
One of the things that's really cool about Medico is we had this bonus that hit the ARC. And I'm like, where did that money come from? Right. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, it was Medico. And then like some of my downline agents, they're like, oh my gosh, I got a bonus too. And it's just like, so you can make money while you're making money, which I think is amazing. But the hospital indemnity plans, they're one of the easiest products to talk about. And it's AAP right now.
So Megan, here's the big thing is number one, give people what is the tip off, the first thing you think of. So I need to talk about hospital indemnity with this client. And then what are the exact things I say, whether it's in the home or on the phone call 2 days later when you decide to present this, that you need to talk to them about this. So what's the tip off on when do you say it? And then what exactly do you say to tell them about it? the story you tell, and then the words that leads to, or how you present whatever numbers, and then the words that lead to the application. That's really what we want to capture.
Okay, cool. So first thing, who am I helping this out with? Number one, if they have an Advantage plan, you need to be thinking about hospital indemnity. Number two, if they have a health insurance through their work, you need to be thinking about hospital indemnity. Number three, if they have a lot of hospital bills, you need to be thinking about hospital indemnity. All those things. So it's like, I have a hospital indemnity myself, right? Because I can now, because Medico went down on the age. So thank you for that, Melissa. I mean, anybody with an Advantage plan, and it's AEP right now. So it's like, if you guys are selling Advantage plans, you should never help somebody out with an Advantage plan if you're not doing a hospital indemnity plan with it. They go hand in hand together. If somebody's spouse just got out of the hospital and they're complaining about hospital bills, it's like, boom, you need to talk to them about a hospital indemnity plan. If I see somebody at the age of 64 to 67, so if they are in bad health, or if they just get out of the hospital, or if they have cancer or whatever their health is like, if they're in between the ages of 64 and 67, I know Medico doesn't ask any health questions between those ages, that age group. So it's like a given, and it puts urgency on things. So it's like, man, this is the time that you have where this hospital indemnity plan is not going to ask any health questions. It doesn't matter if you have cancer. It doesn't matter if you were in the hospital 2 weeks ago. Like, nothing matters at this time. So it puts urgency on it. So hospital indemnities are more easy to sell than anything. Even for your clients that are like, I don't have a whole lot of money. Perfect. Like, you would be amazed about how many hospital indemnities I sell for $5. Like, anything is better than nothing. If you write somebody and it's like $100 a day for 3 days, like, you can help them out with a policy that's $3 or $5. And then if they go into the hospital and they're in there for 3 days, they're going to get a check for $300. So it's
and Brian, don't forget, that's 100% observation, emergency room, transportation and lodging, inpatient mental health.
Right.
Sorry.
No, you're great. So it's like, and not only that, but it's like Kelly Rayburn, Melissa, like, they help out so much. Like, we got their cell phone numbers. Like, they've built relationships with my staff. So it's like, you don't have that with every carrier, and they are amazing. They help you out so much. And I'm so thankful for the relationship that we have with Medico, because I mean, that helps me sell more. Because I have that relationship with them. But basically, I think I covered that stuff, so I'll go into the selling. But everybody wants to hear a story, right? Like, nobody cares about products. Nobody cares about blah, 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 blah. Like, these clients, they don't want to hear about products. They want to hear a story. So if you don't have a story, you can use my story. But basically, and I say the same thing in every single home I'm in. So I'll go from one home saying one thing to the next home saying one thing to the next home saying one thing. And it's like, trust me, it gets annoying because I'm repeating myself so many times throughout the day. Plan a check in his name that he could use however he wanted to. Isn't that amazing? Hospital for 2 days right before Thanksgiving of last year, and he got a check for $600. So instead of having to pay that check from Medico to pay that, instead of use money out of his own pocket. Isn't that amazing? And so it's like, I'm finding something that relates to my dad and the client, so that they both have United Healthcare. But what they don't have that my dad has is something that's going to pay what the United Healthcare doesn't pay for. And it's amazing because these people know. Like, if you're like, if you go into the emergency room, you have to pay your $90 and then your Advantage plan pays the rest. And they're like, yeah, I know. And different. I say the same story over and over and over and over again because it works. So my mom, she goes to see a chiropractor, right? She has the chiropractic rider on her hospital indemnity plan. She saves all of her receipts and turns them into Medico. Medico, I mean, she'll get a check from Medico for like $200 here, another $100 there, because they pay her $50 every time she goes to a chiropractor, which is like more for even her monthly bill that she pays to Medico. So it's like people are making money off of these hospital indemnity policies. So it's like, help these people, because these are amazing products. And I think, Mike, to tell you the truth, it's like, I'm excited about these plans. So when I'm talking to my clients, they can hear the excitement coming out of my voice. Like, it's very difficult for my clients not to be excited about something that I'm very excited about. If I'm just talking to them about like this plan does this, like, they're not too excited about it. But a story, it changes the game of everything. And my excitement, like, I have this myself, my dad has it, my mom has it. All my staff in my office have the hospital indemnity plan. Like, it is very, very important. And let me tell you, it's an amazing thing when your clients call you and say, I just got a check for $500 from Medico. I'm like, yes, it works.
Have you ever had a client that you sold the cancer rider to that got cancer and they called you upset because they got 10 grand or 5 grand? Has that ever happened? Were they upset about it?
No.
No, they'll never be upset that you sold them a rider that they had to use. Okay.
Right.
And
we actually just did that. One of my clients was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, yuck. You've sold 272 policies to date for 2022.
Nice.
Nice job, girl.
272 hospital.
That's as of yesterday, so your 5 today don't count.
It was 5 today.
How many does number 2 have? I'm curious.
Number 2 has 125.
So she's like more than double what number 2 is.
Correct.
That's crazy.
And it's all about just conversation. Like, the first question is, have you ever heard of a hospital indemnity plan? Like, I mean, it is so simple, stupid, right? Have you ever heard of a hospital indemnity plan? And they're gonna be like, no, I never heard of that. Well, let me tell you. Like, it is so simple, stupid, and it's just so easy. You know what I mean?
All you have to do is talk about it. And I think Megan's point shows that. Talk about it, it sells itself, right?
Yeah. And you'll even hear clients say, like, well, I'd be stupid not to do it. I'm like, exactly. Yeah. Like, I can't tell you how many times I hear that.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Like, there shouldn't even be a question whether they want it or not. Like,
let's do this. I want people, so some people say, I don't have my own story. Well, in case you completely ignored some of the stories Megan told you, if you need one that's like closer to home, I mean, you heard Alfonso mention his, but Sherry, do you mind, because some people don't know about Sherry's situation with her husband this summer, do you mind sharing real quick what happened and what was going on, and then even how you upgraded here recently?
Yes, yeah, sure thing. So back in May, my husband got sick, was vomiting nonstop for like 4 days. So we went to emergency room and did some tests, and they came in and said he had to do exploratory surgery, which they did. And then he was in ICU for 3 or 4 days. And basically he ended up being in the hospital for 8 days. So 8 days, he gets to come home. So my husband became ill. We went to the emergency room. They ran some tests, and they had to do emergency surgery, which he came out of that, but he ended up being in ICU for like 3 or 4 days, and then a total of 8 days in the hospital. So totally came out of the blue. But because we had the hospital indemnity plan, we had selected $300 a day. So 300 times 8, we were able to file a claim for $2,400. So that was wonderful. And then I think the last call that you did for us a couple of months ago, Melissa, you were talking about ages 64 to 67, cancer rider, and guaranteed issue.
Yep.
So myself, I'm 67. I currently am being treated for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So I was like, yes, I'm getting that. I'm upgrading. So I got with Paige, and we also, my husband got a new policy too. We replaced our existing policies. We upped our coverage.
Sure.
Both of the policies have the cancer rider, so I'm thrilled to death. We got approval on them this week.
Yay.
So I'm
That's
so excited.
exciting.
That is when I was guaranteed issue, I was like, yes.
And I'm
'Cause I don't
sorry
have-
about your cancer. That's not fun, but you totally understand.
Yeah.
Not only is it emotionally, but it's a financial disaster, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad we can help.
Yeah.
Right. So both Sherry and Jean have had stuff happen. And because of the 3-year guaranteed issue, even though they had a plan before, they see the value, they're able to go and upgrade their coverage. So if you have a client that either, hey, you've never helped, and they're between age 64 and 67, you can go and help them get their first plan. Or if you help them, you can help them upgrade. Or if they've had a claim or a situation where you think, oh, this is a mess, I couldn't get them, or nope, guaranteed issue to help upgrade right now. So these are all big things to know about. Any other questions for Melissa or for Megan?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead, London.
So the chiropractic therapy writer, do you have to get an injury or be referred to get that check? You can just go for just if you want to get a chiropractic visit and get that check.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be due to an accident or an injury. It's simply if you go to the chiropractor, you need a manipulation of the spine or a manual adjustment. Medico doesn't care.
Okay, and I don't
You
have
don't have to have
I don't have
hospitalization
this.
prior.
I don't see the slide anymore, but what was the time frame on that? How often can you use
It's
it?
5 per calendar year.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that was my only question.
Okay, perfect.
I had a question.
Sure.
Is it possible to get those slides? And then what was the time frame on the stroke? If a client has a stroke, has it
12
be
months.
within 12 months? Okay.
Yep, so they have to, 12 months.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed that video, and if you like that one, we have some more for you right here. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button below.